All Kinds of Love is the David Lewis film premiering September 29th at the Reeling Film Festival. The film is set in the backdrop of the 2015 marriage equality, but not in the way that you would expect. 2015, was a big year for many couples, but not for this one that we're going to see in this film. Tell us where we start off in this movie.
Well, it starts off on actually the day of marriage equality. And so the premise is like while everyone else is getting married, our main character, Max, is getting divorced, is just hearing the news that like he's not on the same page as his husband who wants to experiment more. So they're kind of going against the wave in every way here.
Was this story inspired by, anything going on in the news, or were you just like, I want to do something different? What was happening in 2015?
I kind of, it started out as like, I just thought it was a funny premise that someone would be getting divorced on marriage equality day. So it kind of started out as a whimsical thing. And then as it, as I continued developing the project, I mean, these characters really started coming to life. And it just became, a Valentine to all the possibilities of queer love. There was much more than marriage and the way people express how they love each other. And so it kind of surprised me where this went. And so it was definitely a labor of love in that way.
Let's talk a little bit about that magical number of 40, because we don't get to see so many films of gay characters, in 40 kind of with new beginnings or in relationships and leaving and, trying to find their a brand new path. Talk about a little bit of how that, that number 40, what it means in the gay community, for you and your experience and, kind of starting a new path at that age.
Yeah, I think that was very intentional. And like and when you watch this film, every age group is represented. I mean, you have the young kind of computer guy, but you have a lot of the characters are older. And like I should say, I don't want to even use the word old because it's so pejorative, but that they're of a certain age. And like and so you have a thruple who's like in their 60s, and you have a guy who's 40, um, and the center of attention, the center of gravity in the film. And I did want to make a statement about, but not in a polemic way, but a joyful statement that love not only comes in many forms, but it's for those of all ages. That we all, no matter what our stage in life, that there's always the possibility of love.
Oh, and especially in the places that you may not expect, because that's one of his journeys as well too. Is he now has to pivot his life, but it's not the end of the world because something like this happens.
Absolutely. And and I hope people come out of this like really feeling good. I mean, this was meant to be a I just I hope people will just like come out of the theater and go, I really feel happy. I mean, like um that again, that it's a Valentine to the community and to people of all ages. And like, and you're right, like people of a certain age don't get a lot of representation in LGBTQ cinema. And so like um and are still sexual beings and yearning for love just like everyone else.
Let's talk a little bit about the body positivity that we get to see in this movie, because sometimes people might be worried a little bit about wrinkles or try or their abs, or if their hair is turning gray, and sometimes people get self-conscious about those things, and we get to see people in all different ages, but especially 40 plus, kind of living their life and just being happy with who they are.
I couldn't agree more. I think this was, and the body positivity element of this was really important. I mean, that like, um, it's just that like, and that we're all beautiful beings, and like, and I wanted really to celebrate that, like, and so um, everyone in this world that we created with all kinds of love, um, they may be having problems with like what to do about love or how their relationships or whatever, but they're all their authentic selves, and they're comfortable with who they are as people physically and mentally. This is not about sexual identity crises or a image crisis or a sexual orientation crisis or anything like that. It's about people universally trying to find connection and a place of love in the world. I mean, that's so corny, but that's really what I wanted to do. And that all of these things we get like hung up on, whether it's our bodies or whether it's our age, and we all do. I mean, I've got insecurities like everyone else, but at the end of the day, like I just wanted to celebrate the community, and and so, and I hope that people, whatever their age, you know, will celebrate this. Originally, this film, the original title was like One for the Ages. It's like playing on, but then it just kind of morphed as it developed. But still, it's kind of the mindset as I had. I wanted all people of different kinds of ages in this.
A lot of people show a lot in the movie. Just how you mentioned before, whether it's doing yoga in your house by yourself, being intimate with someone for the first time, maybe surprising somebody who may not expect that you might be in the room. But was that intentionally maybe one character, or was it always the plan to have kind of multiple people in different states, kind of in undress?
It was always the plan. It was that was very intentional. That it was like that. Like I thought it would have been a bad statement to say, "Oh, we're going to just show the cute guys naked." I just like what? No, I should say the young cute things. Because no, it's like that it's natural for all of us. And the actors were very committed to that. It was not exploitive. It was not, um, like, it was just like natural. And, and they bought into that, because that was the vision. And everyone, it was just, we made it as comfortable as possible and non-threatening as possible. And people, the cast really bought into it, but it was from the beginning. I wanted to do that from the beginning. This film has been all over the festival circuit and is playing in a lot of and there's not been one person who said I was really uncomfortable with the nudity. Everyone a person has said, I'm very comfortable with this. I feel like, I mean, um, and was happy to see people of various ages, just doing their thing, and beautiful people, and and just natural, but that was very intentional. We set that up from the beginning. The actors knew what they were getting into, and they bought into it. They agreed with the premise, and so it was very comfortable on set. It was just it was natural.
Let's talk a little bit about the character of Khan. He's obviously, kind of new to everything. He kind of gets thrust into this whole new world, but it's like it just seems like it just fits perfectly, and he's just kind of meant for that.
Well, this was a character that was really near and dear to my heart. They all were, um, you know, I wanted a character who was who in some ways was like is kind of naive and young to the scene, however, very mature in his outlook about um, a relationship and love and being sincere, and so, I live in a place where there's a lot of tech people. And so this was inspired by that. There's a lot of young people like Conrad in the Bay Area. And, I just loved the character. It was someone who, as I said, it's someone who is unknowing in some respects, but in other respects, he's the most responsible person. I mean, the other ones really,
We'll let
we
people
got
watch the movie to
Ruffles.
understand that. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, but he's kind of like in some ways more centered than anyone in the film.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for everybody to go ahead and check this out at the Reeling Film Festival because it really does show love is not just one path, that you see so many different couples and so many different people in this movie. They all have love in their life. It just may not look the way that, stereotypically it's shown, but it just, opens up the idea or opens up people's minds as far as what love can look like and maybe not being so close-minded when it comes to their own lives as well, too.
Yes, you have really perfectly encapsulated what our mission was and what we're trying to do this. And I hope the people of Chicago, this is the Midwestern um, premiere of All Kinds of Love, and I hope it's shown on the West and East Coast and stuff like this. And I'm a Midwesterner, and so like at heart, and also at birth, but like so I really hope that and Chicago's such a great place, and I love the city, and I hope people respond to the film there.
Definitely go check it out September 29th at the Reeling Film Festival. Reelingfilmfest.org is where you go ahead and get those tickets. David, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, and I love you, Chicago.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.